make sure that our microphones are on. It is now 6:11, and with that, we would do a recall to order of a regular meeting. Jackie, can you please start with a roll call?
Amanda Ernest.
Here.
Fred Davis. Steve Byers.
Here.
Mario Owens.
Present.
Christopher Boyd.
Here.
Stacy Ramirez.
Present.
Dante Bynum. Here. Jenna Zimmerman.
All right, next item is public participation recognition. Item 8, public comment. Members of the public who wish to speak to the board shall complete a request card prior to the start of the meeting. This section of the meeting will be reserved for comments from the public. All comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Criticism of individuals is not in order. Do we have any comments, Jackie? No. Okay. Thank you. The next item is board correspondence. Do you have any board correspondence?
Just wanted to give a quick shout out to the Fine Arts Department at the high school. I got to go and watch the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Very great production. I didn't really know what was going on when I first started watching it because I didn't read the book, and it turns out that there's a lot of context, but it was phenomenal. I thought the acting from all the students was amazing, so just good work to them.
Also on the fine arts side, I just wanted to give a shout out to the DeKalb High School Jazz Band and Mr. Lundeen. The band performed at Kishwaukee College's Veterans Day ceremony yesterday, and it was really amazing to see. I felt like the music was just an amazing addition and lifted a lot of people's spirits, and Mr. Lundeen is just so passionate about what he does and just the impact of music, and it was just really beautiful to watch. So if you're watching, thank you. If you're not watching, someone tell him that. Thank you.
I actually attended, I don't have such exciting news as you all, but I attended a couple committee meetings this past week or since we last met, a couple social justice committee meetings, DCTA meetings as well. So there's a lot of work going on across the district. So it's always exciting to see people collaborating and coming together to make sure that we are doing everything that we can, of course, to support the children that we are actively serving, so, and the families, of course, and the staff. So a lot of work is happening, so exciting for that. Anything else? No? All right, so definitely a lot of exciting things happening across, so thank you to everybody for all the work that you all put into making those things happen. Student board correspondence.
I got something to share on behalf of Jenna. She's at a banquet tonight. The mini board has been busy. They're looking at feedback from DHS classes and also what these students remember from elementary school. They're working on a logo for STEAMCon, and then they're almost done prepping for their first leadership workshop for DHS. So that's exciting too.
I'm sorry, would you like to discuss that she's going to be graduating this year and then we'll be looking for?
Yep, Jenna will be graduating this academic year, so we will be looking for new student board members, so spread the word. Yeah, we're excited about that. More info coming soon about the application and interview process.
All right, David, thank you for that. Anything else? Okay, next item is approval consent agenda. Approve consent agenda items. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda items 5B through 5I, board meetings for 10/15/24, personnel action items, activity account requests, purchase order requisitions, payroll for October, accounts payable for November, financial reports, and employment contract for Dean of Students, DeKalb High School, as attached. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Mario Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyd.
Yes.
Stacy Ramirez.
Yes.
Dante Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Ernest.
Yes.
Thank you. Old business, item A, Kids Hope Mentoring, MOU. This is an action item. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the MOU with Kids Hope. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Mario Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyd.
Yes.
Stacy Ramirez.
Yes.
Dante Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Ernest.
Yes.
Thank you. Item B, PEL degree or Pell degree program agreement. This is an action item. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the Pell degree program agreement for staff that are working towards teacher licensure. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mario Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyd.
Yes.
Stacy Ramirez.
Yes.
Dante Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Ernest.
Yes.
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Thank you. Item C, DHS Student Council Winter Retreat Overnight Trip. This is an action item, no date change. Oh, thank you, Jackie. All right. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the DHS Student Council to travel to Chicago to attend the DHS Student Council Winter Retreat Overnight Trip on December 14th through the 15th, 2024. Originally,
It was like the weekend before they were gonna go at information last time. It was the week before.
So
I
it was
have
the week
one
before.
question.
Yes.
Since one of the staff members mentioned is no longer going to be in that differential role, are they still going to attend that conference? Do we know?
What was that? I'm sorry, Jack. What, can you repeat your question? I
Since one
apologize.
of the staff members listed going on this retreat on the personnel report is no longer going to be an advisor for student council, are we still sending them? Okay.
We will make sure that we know.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so let me rephrase that again. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the DHS Student Council to travel to Chicago to attend the DHS Student Council Winter Retreat overnight trip on December 14 through the 15th, 2024, originally stated as of last week for December 8th and the 9th, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Christopher Boyce.
Yes.
Stacy Ramirez.
Yes.
Dante Bynum.
Yeah.
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Thank you. Item D, new course proposals, DHS Agriculture Education. This is an action item. Let me see. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the request for these new agriculture educational proposals, Intro to Agricultural Trades, Animal Agriculture and Production, and Greenhouse Management, two starting for the 2025-2026 school year. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Stacy Ramirez.
Yes.
Dante Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyce.
Yes.
Thank you. Item E, new course proposal, DHS dual credit, physical science and geology. This is an action item. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve these new DHS dual credit science courses, DHS dual credit physical science and geology, for approval to be implemented for the school year 2025-2026. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Dante Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyce.
Yes.
Stacy Ramirez.
Yes. Thank you. Item F, new course proposal, DHS Advanced Placement, AP African American Studies, Social Studies course. This is an action item. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve this new DHS AP African American Studies course to be implemented in the year 2025-2026 school year. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyce.
Yes.
Stacy Ramirez.
Yes.
Dante Bynum.
Yes.
Thank you. Item G, fiscal year 25 MS NIU Summer STEAM Program. This is an action item as well. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the fiscal year 25 MS NIU STEAM, Summer STEAM Scope of Work Agreement. Okay, that's all I have here. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the fiscal year MS NIU Summer STEAM Scope of Work Agreement. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyce.
Yes.
Stacy Ramirez.
Yes.
Dante Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
Thank you. Item H, staffing request an increase 1.4 FTE for DHS, CRMS, HMS. This is an action item. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the request of 1.4 FTE for DeKalb High School, Clinton Rosette Middle School, and Huntley Middle School. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyce.
Yes.
Stacy Ramirez.
Yes.
Dante Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
Thank you. Item I, intergovernmental agreement for tax increment financing, TIF number 4, with the city of DeKalb. This is an action item. It is recommended that the Board of Education substantially approve the 2024 intergovernmental agreement relating to tax increment financing districts between the city of DeKalb and various taxing bodies, including DeKalb Community Unit School District number 428, pending attorney review and any non-substantial modifications agreed with other taxing bodies. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyce.
Yes.
Stacy Ramirez.
Yes.
Dante Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Harness.
No.
And Steve Byers.
Yes.
Thank you. Item A, Mitchell Elementary School business, Mitchell Elementary School updates.
Thank you, just wanted to share some pictures that I try to show about once a month, everything that's going on, or as much as is going on. The big theme for this week are colors. We have paint colors coming into many of the wings, and they're one of our kinder classrooms. There is an accent wall in nearly every student space, so the kinder rooms do have this bluish turquoise color. That's our first grade wing. Those have more of the green colors, and if you look out in the hallway, all of these kind of blend together, go from one, there's like 2 colors per grade, and then it blends into the next grade, so it's a nice transition in between. So you can see the classroom as well as a couple of the colors out in the hallway. Like this is the innovation pod. Again, you've got a few color schemes going on in there. The restorative classroom is an interior classroom, so there are skylights in this classroom, so that does bring in natural light. Those are the skylights, and then there's also, it's harder to see in that picture, but a blue wall also in that room. And then OTPT also has the interior classroom, so they have skylights there. And then it's hard to see on this, I didn't get there later today, but the exterior, the different window frames also have a lot of primary colors going on. So you see a lot of pops of color on the exterior part of the buildings too. So just wanted to share that. I'll have a lot more, and as we're starting to close down the ceiling grids, it's starting to really have that feel of classroom spaces. Gonna be going out there with some staff to finalize furniture in the next 30 days so that we can get that replaced before the end of the school year, so we're ready for it to be delivered and installed in May or June next year.
Awesome. Any questions?
Oh.
No? Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you pass through, actually through like normal, or is it, yeah, it's normal, right? You can see a lot of the colors from the outside, so it's pretty awesome.
So for those of you that, on the board, I know that Chris is on the FFA. I know that they'll be taking a walkthrough prior to, or the next FFA meeting. FC, I'm sorry, FFC.
Like what?
I'm thinking about my future farmers of America, sorry. FFC, the Financial Facilities Committee, will be taking a walkthrough at Mitchell next week?
Yep, on Tuesday.
Yeah, next week, Tuesday.
Okay, awesome. Thank you again for the update. All right, new business, item 8, MOU Outdoor Play Space, ELDC, DeKalb County ROE. This is an information item brought to us by Ms. Kim Lyle.
Good evening. If you get a chance.
Can you hit your microphone there? Thank you.
Just press the button.
Yes.
There you go, thanks.
All right. If you get a chance, you should come by. They put on the gates today to extending our playground. It's probably, doubled. Wouldn't you say double the size? So, oh my gosh, it's wonderful. And so there's a piece in the back of it that is undeveloped, and that is where the ROE and us are partnering together to put in a toddler garden. I don't know if you ever see their Facebook posts, but they have them in all different towns in the county. And so it's going to go in as soon as this is approved, and there'll be raised garden beds in the back. There'll be some equipment, a wooden ball run, balance beam, musical instruments, a root viewer, stepping stones, and some other material, all provided by them. So it's not just for our students to be able to access, but it's also for the community. So then that space not only be used by the community, the ROE will also use that, but then we have a Pathways to Play club that's with the high school. And I had one of the teachers write this for me because I want to make sure I tell you all the right information. So these are students at the DeKalb High School that are interested in becoming early childhood teachers. And so they work with 2 of my teachers, and they plan 1 to 2 times a month lessons and things that will happen out in that space to give them that experience. And then they invite communities, families to come, and then of course our families will participate in that. So, and they'll do things like nature hunts, story, art, gross motor activities, planting flowers, vegetables, that type of thing. So in the MOU, it talks about pretty much we're not doing anything. They're doing everything. Tammy's department's been wonderful. They'll help them with a couple of the things, but all of this is on the ROE. If anything breaks, we just contact them. They'll come back out. They'll fix that up. They'll give us a nice shed that will store all of the things in it too. It's a mini shed that will be inside of there. So that's what this is about.
Any questions? No?
Okay.
Thank you, Kim.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, item B, DHS course, student course fees updates, adding, decreasing fees. This is an information item brought to us by Dr. Larson.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, good
All
evening.
right. Go to the top. Oh, thanks. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. It is that time of year. We are gearing up, looking at our course fees, our course selection for the next school year. And we just wanted to present some more information for an increase in one current course, as well as a decrease in a course, as well as we're looking at some supplemental materials as we are shuffling some things around. So real quick, there's two courses that we're talking about tonight, or two areas. We have our CTE area, Career Tech Education for Ag. So talking about FFA, our students that are taking horticulture, we have grown more capacity within that course. And instead of one course offering, as we're building that pathway, we're now we added 2 more this year. So now we have a total of 3. Yeah, it's exciting. We have 82 students total that are taking that class. However, to sustain for future growth, the funding, we want to add a course fee to that course of $40 per student to help with purchasing the flowers and all of the materials for that course to sustain it. Currently, horticulture has been utilizing some FFA extracurricular activity funds, as well as some greenhouse sales. So when we have that big greenhouse sale, it helps with those things for our students to be exposed to. However, we want to sustain this. So we are adding this as a course, as a future course fee for this particular course. In terms of the shifts with the changes in our supplemental materials for our world languages department, a lot of our language lab fees, we are trying to shuffle some things around. And as we make it more interactive, we're able to decrease that because of the lab costs. So there's going to be 3 particular classes within our world language Spanish area that we can decrease that fee. So that is what we're bringing to you tonight when we're discussing our course fees to put in our course catalog for next school year.
Any
questions here?
questions about that? No?
Okay, great.
All right, consensus to bring that back?
Yes.
Thank you.
I think you're up again.
I think
MSHS Student Trip Request, American Choral Directors Association 2025 National Conference. This is an information item presented to us by Dr. Lars.
another very exciting opportunity for our students, as they were, and it's not just us as well, it is some of our middle school students as well were invited. There's 15 students that are registering for this opportunity, so I'm bringing forth to you permission for our students to go on this field trip. Any questions?
Questions?
Okay.
And for the expenses for this, is this out of our budget or is this out of the students?
So there's audition fees, there's travel fees. We stick to where like our music budget is, and then we go outside if we need to. We discuss all of those things together. But we're looking for ways that we can make sure that it is minimal. It does come out of the district, the music budget, because there's more students than just DHS.
Okay, I just wanted to double check.
Sure,
I mean,
yep.
just double checking and regarding student expenses and how much it will actually come out of, if anything's gonna be required to be paid by the families or if this is something that we're paying.
It should
No.
not.
Okay,
Yeah, we have music boosters, we have the activity boosters, we
Good.
should be good.
okay, cool, thank you.
Yep.
All right, consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item D, National Art Educators Association Conference. This is an information item brought to us by, let me see, Miss Sarah Montgomery.
Okay, as it says, we have art professional development going on, and it's paid for out of the teacher vacancy grant, coming up in a few months.
Okay, any questions about it? No? Okay, consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item E, staffing request additional 1.0 FTE for human resource specialist. This is an information item brought to us by Ms. Teacher Salas.
Good evening. So in 2001, the HR department added the position of HR specialist. That was to help us with our onboarding process. That person has been responsible for the fingerprinting of all of our new employees, and contractors and student teachers and volunteers that work in the district. In addition to that, they work with the frontline system in sending out onboarding paperwork, making sure that the paperwork that comes back to us is properly certified, added to the personnel file, and preparing us for our ROE technical audit visit. This year we had our audit visit, and this is the first one in 6 years. Typically, we are audited when there's a new superintendent, every 2 years, or at the point that they've determined that we need an audit. Because of COVID, that schedule got knocked off, so we had an audit this year that was inclusive of 6 years. It was a big audit. That audit revealed that we have a lot of cleanup work to do and that we need to establish some efficiencies. In addition to all of that, with the addition of new FTE, opening a new building, and trying to streamline a lot of the positions in the district, we've had an increase in hiring. Based on that, we are asking for a second position for an HR specialist to support the needs of the department. We would like to break up the work so it's classified and certified so that we can ensure that when it's audit time and for compliance purposes that we are able to stay on top of that and that we are able to clear our audit better than we probably have this time. Any questions I can answer?
Any questions?
Guess for me, I get we're onboarding a new elementary school next year, but once the school's up and running, we're not gonna have an influx of another 60 staff members that we're handling every year for a new elementary school. So I just don't know that adding a whole new HR person for what's gonna be 1 year of extra push is really worth another $72,000 to $83,000 a year.
That's a valid point. Prior to us opening a new school, our FTEs have increased and turnover has also increased. So whether we look at any position in the district or the number of positions that we're not able to fill at the start of the school year, hiring is an ongoing process for us now. Versus in the past, prior to me coming to the district, hiring really happened in the summer as we were getting ready to start the school year. But our markets are so different now in hiring people that it is an ongoing process for us.
Okay.
Any other questions? No? All right, consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item is item F, maximum health service agreement. This is an information action item brought to us by Ms. Teacher Salas.
Yes, Kyle
Kyle
is away at
Gertis.
a conference.
Okay.
So
I
I am,
say Kyle, but
yes, I am filling in for Kyle. So Maxim Healthcare is a contracting agency that provides healthcare personnel to school districts and many other healthcare facilities. As a school district, we have a responsibility to provide healthcare services to all of our students, but for some students, it requires additional support. We have 4 students in the district that require one-on-one nursing assistance. 2 of those students started at the beginning of the year, 2 started after the beginning of the year. At the point that the student enrolls, it takes us time to find a nurse, and oftentimes that's not a fast turnaround. In addition to that, prior to Kyle developing this request, we had a resignation from one of our certified school nurses. So now we are down a certified school nurse. So we really have the need of having someone that can fill in on an as-needed basis. And when the one-on-one is absent for any of our students, we have to be able to backfill that position on a day-to-day basis. So this request is for an additional contracted nurse to provide support district-wide wherever we may need them at any given moment to support the needs of our students as far as healthcare. It is information and action because, as I mentioned, we have lost a certified school nurse, and Maxim does have a candidate that we don't want to lose to another position that they may be able to fill it with.
any questions about that? No? All right, so this is an action item. So it is recommended that the Board of Education approve the service agreement with Maxim Health. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Christopher Boyd,
Yes.
Casey Ramirez,
Yes.
Nancy Bynum,
Yes.
Amanda Hernes.
Yes.
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Thank you. Item G, American Speech Language Hearing Association Conference. This is an information action item brought to us by Ms. Teacher Salas.
It is I again. So we have a speech and language therapist, Bianca Ocampo, who was awarded by the American Speech and Language Hearing Association for some research that she did. In that award, yes, that's absolutely
Right.
something to celebrate. Thank you. So in that award comes the opportunity for her to come to the national conference and present. That does include her travel, but it does not include some of the other incidentals, such as her mileage to and from the airport, her food for the 3 days that she's attending the conference, and then things such as tolls and parking. So, but her travel and accommodations are being provided by the association. So this request is for approval for her to travel and for, it is in Seattle, Washington, and for the cost of the expenses. The conference is December 5th through 7th, and that's why it's coming as information and action.
First, congratulations.
Absolutely.
Right. Any questions? All right. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the travel request for the American Speech Language Hearing Association Conference on December 5th through the 7th, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Amanda Hernes.
Yes.
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyd.
Yes.
Casey Ramirez,
Yes.
Nancy Bynum.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item H, ISB Maintenance Grant Application. This is an information item brought to us by Ms. Tammy Carson.
Each year, the ISB has been presenting an opportunity for a maintenance grant. We had it last year for the Jefferson toilet rooms. And this year, we are looking to bid out the Lincoln toilet rooms, which you've approved going out to bid. We haven't received the bid results, but we are asking for approval to apply for the maintenance grant, which would contribute $50,000 to that project.
Any questions about that? No, that's always great.
Okay, thank you.
So you see all smiles off board, like, no, we don't have no questions. All right, consensus to bring that back?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Next item, is it CO?
COSN.
COSN, okay. COSN National Conference, Human Leadership in a World of AI. This is an information action item brought to us by Mr. Benbeo.
Yep, so this is the national conference. I am a IETL board member, Illinois Educational Technology Leaders board member. The board annually attends the conference. This time it's in Seattle, Washington. The cost is approximately $5,000, but it's not going to exceed that. There are scholarship funds and things like that also come from IETL to offset those costs. So looking to attend.
And then this is also, you said it's an information action
It
item.
is an information action because flights and hotel rooms are already being booked up, so.
Okay.
What kind of April Fool's shenanigans will it be?
Oh, well, can't share that.
All right, any questions? No? All right. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the out-of-state travel for Mr. Benbeo to attend the COSN National Conference. This item is listed as an information action item because flights and rooms are already being booked. All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Christopher Boyd.
Yes.
Casey Ramirez.
Yes.
Nancy Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Hernes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item J, Grand Canyon University travel. This is an information action item brought to us by Ms. Teacher Salas.
So, I think our last board meeting, I shared that Grand Canyon is one of our academic partners but teaching our staff that are looking to move into becoming teachers. So a variety of staff members that do not currently hold a Pell. Some may have a bachelor's, some may not. So they might be working towards a bachelor's or a master's. They are partnering with Grand Canyon to complete their academic coursework so that they can earn their Pell and we grow our own staff members. Very exciting program. Grand Canyon, because of our strong partnership that we've established, has invited a number of staff members to campus. So December 10th through 12th, we have been invited to Phoenix, Arizona, expenses covered by Grand Canyon University, and we are going to learn more about their academic programs and tour their campus. They have invited a number of staff members, of which 7 have accepted the invitation. Of the 7, 6 are administrators and 1 is a coordinator in our HR department that supports the talent acquisition aspects of HR. So we are asking for permission to travel out of state and for the expenses of getting to and from the airport, but food, hotel, and airfare is being covered by Grand Canyon.
Any questions?
It is information in action because it is coming up so soon.
Okay. All right, it is recommended that the Board of Education approve the travel for 7 DHS staff to visit the Grand Canyon University campus in Phoenix, Arizona, December 10th through the 12th, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Steve Byers,
Yes.
Ariel Owens,
Yes.
Christopher Boyd,
Yes.
Casey Ramirez,
Yes,
Dante Bynum,
Yes.
Amanda Hernandez.
Yes.
thank you. Item K, differential committee meeting minutes. This is an information item brought to us by Ms. Deidre Salas.
Differential committee met in August and then again in October. We had a number of requests come to us, and it took us some time to be able to get some answers and make some decisions on if they are differentials that the district should fund or if they are ones that should be managed by the building or ones that we're not ready to move forward with. Based upon the requests that are attached to this agenda item, it comes to a total of $76,612, and it's a variety of athletics, clubs, and then other academic opportunities for students.
Any questions?
The only question I guess I would have in regards to the Barb cast. I know at Sycamore High School, they actually produce some of the stuff for like the actual public channel. Now, part of that agreement is though they are able to then, Comcast, I believe it is, or one of the major providers, gives funds to the city of Sycamore, which then they can receive from the city of Sycamore because they produce the stuff that goes onto the channel. Is that something that we have looked into on whether the city of DeKalb also gets public access funds that then we could request?
That is a great question that I do not have the answer to. Do you happen to know?
We can definitely look into
Yep, we can get that answer and make sure that we get that information shared out with the board and then bring it back so that the public too can get that answer. So not something we're prepared to answer tonight. I am familiar with other districts doing that. Students get great experience at really learning that production opportunity and then being able to cast to cable access channel. So absolutely, we'll get you that answer. Thank you for asking that question.
Any other questions? All right, consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item L, request for proposal, no, for minibuses. This is an information item brought to us by Mr. Amir Doka.
Yep, outside of our contracted services for transportation, we do have a fleet of about 3 buses that we use for, or minibuses. They're about 14 passenger. They are MFSAB, which are ISB approved buses, and we use them for community field trips, sports, clubs. Last time we came, we were at the board in 2019, going out to bid either for a lease or a purchase. We do come out very early on this because a lot of these buses are actually manufactured to our specifications. So that's why for them to build a chassis and so forth, we might be getting these either June or July. So we have to, we are requesting to go out to bid very early so that we can meet that. Currently, we have 3 minibuses, and they are they're kind of aging, their condition, and they're out of warranty. So we do want to end that lease, remove these 3 minibuses, and go out for up to 5. Due to the data that we have seen, we have a big need Our clubs have been expanded. We have sports clubs, new athletics coming in, and the reservation for these minibuses has gone up a lot. In addition, there is also a cost-saving component here. A lot of the athletics or activities, clubs go out within the state or outside of the state. So reservation for this is taken, or we have to go out and contract transportation, overnight stays, and those really add up. So we are proposing to no longer extend the lease for the current minibuses, which end in June 30, and go out for a bid for either to lease or purchase. Now, we do know that the rates for leases are very high, but we also want to see, because of the supply chain disruptions that we've seen, a lot of these manufactured buses are either out of business. The current model, for example, is no longer available. So we want to see what our best cost outs are. We are asking for to go out to bid. We'll once we get the approval, or once we get the next board meeting, we'll look for to see what the bids come in, and then we'll present it to the board, the results.
And just for clarification, the buses just, do they service the entire, just like the middle school and the high school, or just the high school?
So it's activities, athletics, so
Right.
it does middle school and high school.
Okay.
Because the middle school does currently have, and I think that's a good point, because elementary is also interested to use these for community field trips, and at this time, the athletics, the high school athletics or the clubs already have reserved it, so there hasn't been much a reservation time for elementaries. So by opening it up to 5 minibuses, we might the elementary might have a chance to also use it.
Any questions? Consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item, where are we? Item M, disposal of surplus equipment. This is an information action item brought to us by Ms. Tammy Carson.
Usually once or twice a year, I'm in front of you just asking for permission to dispose of surplus equipment that we have in the district. We have been annually replacing lunch tables in our buildings, as well as we just have broken or irreparable equipment that we just need to dispose of properly.
Okay. All right, and this is an information action item, right?
Correct.
Is it? Yes, okay. It is recommended, any questions? No? All right, it is recommended that the Board of Education approve administration to dispose of surplus equipment and furniture. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mary Owens,
Yes.
Christopher Boyd,
Yes.
Stacy Ramirez,
Yes.
Lindsey Bynum,
Yeah.
Amanda Harnett,
Yes.
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, next is the item N, staffing request 1.0 FTE website and multimedia specialist. This is an information item brought to us by Mr. Benbeo and Ms. Rita Elliott.
Yes, good evening. The information there, I know you've had a chance to review it, but really we're looking, as we increase our technical needs, we need to right-size our content needs and generation needs to match those increasing technical needs. So as this explains, we've got several new platforms. Those are increasing in maintenance. It takes a lot of time to manage that, and we want to make sure that we're doing that efficiently. Between David and I, we're keeping it moving, but we're not being as proactive as we should be with a lot of our work and our ability to really reach our public and make sure that we're communicating effectively. So that's one reason.
Yeah, I mean, as we expand on some of these platforms, such as digital signage in the buildings, as well as some of our outside-facing kiosks and marquees, and just sort of trying to get the community more engaged in terms of what the district is doing. It would just take it takes more time, energy, and effort than the current FTE that we have.
We've really done, I think, a good job since making this position a little more consistent with my role here. We are reaching and we are growing, and the attached presentation details some of that growth and audience growth that we're seeing. Media relations is a big part of this. So we have kind of 4 content areas. We have earned, owned, now I'm going to forget my 4th. Earned, owned, shared, and paid media, and those all have to work in conjunction. So all of these pieces that we're talking about really help us, again, make sure that we're communicating effectively with our constituents, that we're elevating the work of the district. I was just at a conference on Friday in Elgin for the Illinois National School Public Relations Association. Listened to a keynote speaker that said, you know, stories are our superpower, and that's a very true statement. Our stories are our superpower. We have a massive amount of good work going on, and I can't keep up with it. So I'd like to do a better job of that. This position will help immensely, keeping a grounding with some of our technical stuff and helping us generate what we need to generate.
Okay.
Are there any more specific questions I can answer, or Ben?
I just genuinely want to take a moment just to say how impressed, at least I personally have been, with all of the updates and things that you guys have rolled out this year, especially with the website. Because I've had multiple people that approached me even over the summer that were like, do you guys know how bad things look with your website and everything? And now, like, I'm like, well, go check it out now. We've got a new and improved one. And just the things I've heard back from the public on how much user-friendly it is, how nice it runs, like, genuinely just want to say phenomenal work, guys.
Thank you.
We've been very strategic in sort of the rollout of these platforms over time, and it's been one of those things where, I mean, if you try rolling out all these things at the same time, there's no way you're going to do it with any sort of fidelity. So as we moved forward and the website became one of those core features we really needed to concentrate on, trying to find the best fit for the district was a key piece of this. And as we started to expand and really want to take full advantage of that platform, it's just going to take more time, energy, and effort in people. So that's where this kind of comes in, finding the position that sort of sits in between the communications and the technical to just sort of offset that, the time coming out both.
I'm quite thankful that David still answers the phone when I call. But I don't know how much time I have left on this, to be honest. So yes, we're very excited about the growth. We want to continue it, and we want to continue to elevate the good work that this district is doing.
Even adding to what Chris said, as a parent, from a parent perspective, I know, like, even revamping Skyward and, like, the communication from DHS is, like, on it, even from, like, parents' communication in regards to, like, attendance and, like, even late arrivals and things like that. Like, it's pretty accurate, like, you know, so props to all of you for the work that you all are doing.
Thanks.
Any questions about that? And I think, again, just adding to that, like, with the branding aspect of it, it really has come full circle.
Yes.
From letterheads to website to posting to
Tammy's trucks.
The room.
The room. I love
the
seeing
room,
the trucks out there.
everything, like, it's really coming full circle, and it's very visible. So
Good.
great job with that. All right. Consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Item O, DFSS staffing proposal for Mitchell Elementary School. This is an information item brought to us by Ms. Tammy Carson and Mr. Amir Doka.
Thank you. So as we're all preparing for Mitchell to open, the Facilities Department has put together their proposal in regards to the staffing needs at the building as well as the additional needs in the district level. What we're presenting is an additional 4.0 in FTE, and if you notice, the staffing at Mitchell for custodial is 4.75. The difference in that is, as we are removing the mobile at Brooks and the mobile at Cortland, we had added hours to both of those buildings when those mobiles were put in place because the custodial needs of those two additional buildings at the locations. Since they're removing, now we're looking to reduce. So by 0.75 at the two locations, that brings our net request for our custodial staff to a 4.0. In addition, we are asking for the addition of a district grounds person and a district maintenance person. For the district grounds, one thing that has changed is at Cortland, since we opened Cortland in 2009, the head custodian at that time it was decided that they would take care of the groundskeeping there. As we have changed grounds or staffing as well as the needs of the building have changed, we have made the decision that it is best to have Cortland handled by our grounds crew so that we have consistency across all of our buildings. If you notice, I'm reducing the FTE of custodians by 0.5 at Cortland versus the 0.25 at Brooks. The reason for that is that the head custodian will be handling more of the inside since he will not be doing the groundskeeping, but then that adds not only the addition of the Mitchell property, as well as the Charter Street property for the Beyond One Bar program. So we're asking for the grounds to add an additional grounds person for those additional tasks. For the maintenance side of things, back in 2022-23, we went from 6 to 7 maintenance staff at that time because of the increase in work orders at that time. And what it did, if you average it all out, it worked out that there were over 30 work orders a month being handled by our maintenance staff. Even with the addition of additional maintenance person at that time, our numbers didn't go down. They stayed still at 30 when we were trying to get a reduction to that. And from 21-22 to 23-24, in 2 years, we actually have gone up by 800 work orders, from 1,700 work orders up to 2,600 work orders. So, and with, again, another 2 buildings, we are asking that a maintenance staff be added to our maintenance crew. It would be second shift, so that work could be completed when we do not have as many staff and students in the building, and we can be more productive at that time. So that's the facility side of things.
Yeah, additionally, this is our third elementary school that will have a production kitchen. So to staff it, we need a head cook, which is a full-time position who supervises, kind of runs, serves, prepares, runs the full service program in that building, and a kind of an assistant, but it's a part-time cook to kind of help with that. So we do need that head cook to start sometime in April, so that we can train them with all the equipment and so forth, and then they can start, and then in August they could be able to start at the Mitchell School. With the cook, we don't necessarily, the 4-hour cook, we don't necessarily have to start it in in April. They can come in August and just join the team at that time.
Any questions? All right, consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item P, approval of estimated tax levy 2024 tax year. This is an action item brought to us by Mr. Amir Doga.
Okay. We can, I do have a presentation on this one. Yeah, let's see. So I'll try to be. Okay. So, yeah, for the 2024 levy request. So today we are just going to be requesting what option or what scenario does the board want to see, so that come December we will provide the tax levy certification to submit it to the county. So at that time we'll have a public hearing, we'll have a newspaper published with the scenario that we looked at today. It is important to understand that the tax rates really are established in March. That's when the county has actually finalized the assessed property values, and the final rates come to be. The taxes will then be distributed in November of 2025 from today and the adoption in December's meetings. So how are they calculated? We look at the county assessors for the property values or the market value for all properties in our district boundaries, which actually cover about 7 townships. The levy is calculated based on that tax base, or what we call an EAV. So as that EAV grows, the tax rate and the revenues will work interchangeably, and we can talk a little bit about that. So how is it calculated? Well, we need 3 things. We need that tax base, the market value. We need also the CPI, and we need any new construction that are entering our tax rolls. Okay. So the reason why we need the CPI is because school districts are under a cap tax law that they call it, which kind of limits us from asking for more than CPI or 5%, whichever is less. So that's the important part. In our assessment numbers, we have received, this is how it looks like, and we have a lot of property growth and a lot of historical growth coming into our district boundaries. So look at that. If under the percent change of the table, we're seeing historical growth from like 3% to 11 to 12, then the past 2 years to about 26%. The industrial zone is the number that is shooting up, as you can see from the blue bar graph. Good thing to hear about this is that the residential properties are actually about 40% of the whole tax revenue we take. So as that industrial growth keeps growing, that share of the residential shrinks. So this is great news overall for the county. And you can see this on the comparison between 2023 and 2024. Here's the total EAV. That's the market value. The tax base is about 1.2 billion, right? Well, this year is about 1.6. So we're seeing about 400 million of growth. So that's historical. And also it's attributed to the new constructions. So you can see under industrial, last year was about 170 million, and this year is about 287. So we're seeing big growth numbers there. So what is this attributed to? Well, you may have noticed that the houses that are selling down the street or your neighbors, well, they're probably really, you may feel like it's overpriced, but their market value due to lower inventory of houses and whatever reasons, they are getting very high. Their market value is getting high. And this is something very similar we saw last year. Last year, counties, townships like DeKalb and Cortland, they saw a big jump in their market value. And the weighted average at that time was about 7.67. This year, we're seeing bigger numbers. So the houses in every township is growing at least 6%, and really on a weighted average of about 13.93%. These numbers will come later, so it's important to understand what the market value of the homes happen. So based on this, that's how we calculate our taxes. So if you recall, we talked about we need three things. We need the market value, and we need how much the existing growth is happening, but also what the CPI is. So based on that, these are the first, I've shared about 5 scenarios that we can take a look at what we want to move forward with for our tax collection. So tax levy. So here the scenario 1, in this case, I took what would reaching the cap be. I am not recommending this, but it is informational. At this point, we are collecting what the market value and what taxes would be for a full market value of that house, in addition to the new growth that's coming in. The new growth is estimated to be about $13 million. So you can see the big jump there from 83 to 96. Well, the new growth is 13 million of it. The rest is the market value of your homes just kind of growing. So we call that an existing growth. Why is that important? Because look at scenario 2. In scenario 2, since the homes in DeKalb Township are the highest increase in market value of about 14%, well, let's say we can lower that tax rate about 14% so that we don't capture that. I'm going to go over this one because it gives you a little bit better idea. So we don't capture that increase of market value, and that affects your tax bill. So how does that affect your tax bill? Well, if you live in DeKalb, you're probably going to get an out-of-pocket of less than $62 in your tax bill, which would be a savings of $62 from previous years. But if you are on average on other townships, it's about $100 less than previous year's tax bill. So this is not last year. We faced a similar model, similar situation. And scenario 3, we actually didn't take the DeKalb Township. We took the overall, all 7 townships average, the 13.93%. So if we take that, there is still some savings that the DeKalb Township will see, and the average taxpayer in other townships will see, up to $40. The next scenario, we looked at similar to what happened to us last year. Back in December, we adopted a number that we thought would would hold harmless the taxpayer. Well, come March, we saw the numbers really, our tax base really had shrunk. So when the tax base shrinks, then the tax bill increases. So we had to come back to the board and do more abatements to hit whatever number we were thinking, or to hold the taxpayers harmless that we promised back in December. So I'm recommending scenario 4 because it gives some kind of cushion for what might happen in March. So because the numbers that we're dealing with has a lot of abatements in it, has a lot of permanent reductions and under levies involved to really hit this number. So remember, when we talked about market value growing so high, well, to keep the tax bill the same as previous year, we really have to go low as well. So we're seeing, because of those numbers, we know that if we may need some cushion in March. We do have a scenario 5. That scenario 5 says, hey, based on the estimation that the county gave us in December, this is what would hold the line. This is what would keep the taxpayers harmless. So if you live on average on all 7 townships, you'll probably see no changes in your tax bill from previous year. But you might see a little, because the DeKalb Township is much higher, you might see on average about $30 increase. So we are asking the board to make a decision on these options. And if I can open it for discussion, otherwise I can finish the presentation on this, but I would rather we pick an option on this.
Some questions?
The only, I guess, kind of first initial question that I have from reading this, so moving from last year to this year, we had that drop off where we're not getting the additional kind of extra property tax relief grant in the same year for this next go around. So is the third meta building and some of the other projects that have started to come to completion just adding enough to the tax rolls that it's kind of offsetting that $6 million that we're losing? And that's why we're able to do the lower abatement amount and still relatively keep people at the levels we're seeing in all of these options?
Yeah, so the calculation is, it kind of mixes. So when we talk about new growth and existing growth, the calculation will have it mixed in there. So right now, if you look at the 83 million from last year and the proposal of scenario 2, let's say, it's still at 83 million. So once that relief grant is no longer effective, that meta or the industrial growth can kick in to fill in the gap. But really, between the 2 years, we are trying to catch up because we have had, let's say, hold harmless that for the past 2 years, or at least hold harmless last year. So we are catching up to the existing growth of those properties.
How do you see I know Chris mentioned, obviously there's some buildings that are still vacant, right? How would that affect this, your formula, if at all?
So, and that's when the March comes in. So we know that there is a newly proposed TIF coming in, so that might lock us out of a $12 million tax base, right? We might see a lot of appeals. So those vacant lands, for example, they will definitely appeal because they're seeing that their market value are growing. So why would they pay for something that are vacant? Or if it's a commercial that has not really moved in and operated and made money out of it, they will appeal. So we won't know that answer until March. That's why that scenario 4 gives us a little bit cushion that I can come into the board and say, we anticipated this last year. The EAV shrank by 97 million. So again, we want to be able to be a little bit more projecting or strategic about it, that we can come, let's say in March, and maybe ask for a little bit more abatements or seeing how that EAV works.
And I'm asking because I know, like I said, like obviously we are gonna be moving from tiers as well, right? So we're not gonna be also receiving like some of that funding, ESSER funds are also gonna be going away. So I just wanted to keep that in mind, and I know that last year when the POs kicked in, we also gave, we agreed to give, some, credits to like Amazon, cause the building was vacant, and it looks like it's still vacant. And then I saw in the newspaper not long ago that Kraft is not opening as well, or it's not going to be, it's still, obviously, there's something going on with the construction or something. So it's probably not gonna be open as well. So I was just,
So
you know,
next
thinking
year
about how
it is
that's gonna
stacking
affect
up
us, if at all.
very, so next year it will stack up a little bit, kind of challenging for us. Because for one thing, we're holding the line, let's say, for the tax bills. We're not capturing all of the new growth, the new tax rolls that are coming in, but there's a few things stacked up against us. The CPI is very low. Remember that the district can only go as high as CPI or 5%, whichever is less. So we cannot go at 5%. We can go whatever the CPI is. Right now, we're looking at about 2.4 CPI. So we cannot grow more than 2.4. We're also not seeing any new growth, as in new, like you mentioned, we may not see Kraft next year. We may not see a major new industrial growth at that time. So that means we cannot capture. We can only capture what the market value of the current property will be. There is, you mentioned ESSER. ESSER is out. EBF, our state funding. We don't know the economic conditions, but there are some kind of very worrying indications. Our political situation right now is also getting uncertain. So next year we do have a lot of things that are challenging, and not to mention that we are having, you know, a new school coming in, and also so there will be a few things that we need to kind of be a little bit more future oriented on our decisions.
So with you as obviously being our finance person, you're recommending our scenario 4 for us to consider to keep us afloat to what, obviously to meet the needs with the new building that's coming and everything, and some of the changes that we see or some of the things that we foresee losing.
Correct. So the scenario 4 is really on that edge that we would say like, hey, let's do scenario 4 because it will allow us some room later on. Okay. I definitely cannot recommend scenario 2 because it will be under our funding obligations. So scenario 2, we're really taking something that we may be facing, let's say,
We never want to be in the red. So I'm
right,
just asking.
yes. I don't want to say the word. So, but yeah, we wouldn't be based on our projections. That will not meet our funding obligations.
Okay. Any other questions?
Are we making a recommendation here?
Yes,
as a group?
we
Board?
do need a recommendation on which one of us. Oh, I'm sorry.
The board
So
is-
today you are asking for us to make a recommendation, right?
One of the scenarios, correct.
We're asking for 4, scenario 4. That's what
The recommendation.
The
Our
recommendation
recommendations.
from the district is scenario number 4.
I,
It's to the board to decide.
yeah, I personally would like to see us do more for our taxpayers than scenario 4 does. And I think that our pretty healthy fund balance can support what comes up in May. So I would like to see us do more personally.
And which one are you thinking, Stephen?
I mean, I'd like to do everything we can. I understand why 2 is can make some people uneasy. I think 3 is probably a kind of middle ground where we do a little bit more than 4. We do a little bit for our taxpayers, especially since some of us did not keep our tax bill the same last year. I think we owe it to the taxpayers to do more than just kind of what 4 is.
Yeah.
So to answer Amanda's question, which option are you proposing?
I would say that I would be in favor of scenario 3.
Okay.
I also feel that option 3 about keeps things very level and on the nose. And I would say that with everything going up, at least keeping it level to me is still trying to do right by our taxpayers.
I'm good with 3.
We got 3 more board members.
I'm writing down, I apologize, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm okay with 4.
And Benta?
I can do 3.
Right, and I can agree with 4. But at this point, we have 3 recommendations for, or 3 votes for number, I apologize, 1, 2, 4 votes for number 3 and 2 votes for number 4. So our recommendation then is scenario 3.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. So wait, this is an action item. Thank you, Jackie. A lot of action items today, Jackie. All right. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the proposed tax levy request for the 2024 tax year for publication. Do I just put the recommendation in there, then scenario 3?
I'll put it because it's consensus, not necessarily vote. Consensus, so I'll put it in notes, but you're really only doing it for the publication.
Oh, okay. So then we have consensus then to agree to scenario 3.
But we have to vote to post it.
So how do you want me to read it? Then how do you want me to add it? Just like that and then consensus? Okay.
So
All right. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the proposed tax levy request for the 2024 tax year for publication. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Christian Woods.
Yes.
Lisa Ramirez.
Yes.
Betsy Bynum.
Yes.
Amanda Harness.
Yes.
Steve Byers.
Yes.
Ariel Owens.
Yes.
Thank you. Item Q, this is a lot of items for today, I apologize. Okay, item Q, this is the Super Courageous Conference. This is an information item brought to us by Dr. Garcia Sanchez.
Good evening. So Deloitte University has come up with a version of the Courageous Principles specifically for superintendents. 100 superintendents from across the country have been invited. I am one of those lucky folks that have been invited and given a scholarship for. I'm asking for permission to attend an out-of-state conference.
Well, congratulations on that,
Thank you.
big deal. Any questions? Okay, all right, this is an information, all right, consensus to bring this back?
Yes.
Congrats again.
Thank you.
Way to represent the district. All right. Item R, approval of 2024 IASB delegate and alternate. Okay, so normally so I just read this, Jackie, or before we do that, can we do this? So what do you want me to do?
Well, doesn't she have to be the delegate first?
No, they're really just for consensus on the.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so normally we just appoint whoever the president is at the conference for the IASB or the III conference that's coming up. Usually there's a representative that it becomes a delegate for them to vote on behalf of the district to give consensus on behalf of whatever, what are these called, Jackie? The amendments, the resolutions, I should say, consensus agenda resolutions, for us to vote on behalf of whatever it is that we agreed to today or that we have consensus on today. Normally, by default, it is the president that attends, but we wanted to make sure that it was on record that we obviously had consensus to that. So just because life happens, we wanted to not only just do a motion to do it formally, to appoint myself, if that is what everybody wants to do, and then Chris to be the alternate delegate in the event that, you know, God forbid something happens. So we just want to make sure that we make that a formal, that we make it formal, unless anybody else would like to be the delegate. He said no. You all are more than welcome to attend that session at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning. Are we okay with doing that then? So, okay. So with that, this is an information action item. I make a motion to select myself, Daisy Ramirez, as the DeKalb School District 428 IASB delegate and Chris Boyce as the alternate delegate at the 2024 Joint Annual Conference.
I'll second.
Is there a motion?
Wait, she said she made a motion.
Oh, I made the
So I
motion.
second.
Duh. Thank you, Jay. I know, I apologize. It's a lot of items today.
R is too many letters.
All right, roll call. Yes.
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 Okay, thank you. And now, with that, the resolution that we received these, I think in the mail, right? And we received them in our email as well, some time ago. So, where are they?
The little tab, so you
Oh,
don't.
the tabs, there you go.
This one and that one. Any consensus?
Okay, so let me read them off though. Which ones are the, okay, so the local school board, delegate direction, the resolutions that are, we should have them also. Let me guide you all. I don't know if you all have them on you. Are they up there on the page? Does everybody have their computer open?
Everybody should have theirs.
It should also be in a, we received the book on like at home.
So if I-
And then there's
can I
also
share
some right
my-
here as well. Yes, of course.
You have a little checklist in the
Oh,
magazine.
Jackie also shared one as well for
It's
some
not
of
in-
them.
It's not in the journal.
Not in the journal, but
not
it's,
in the journal.
We got two, so it goes
It's
one-
in that-
one of those
the
both
co-
goes to the delegate and the alternate. So, and then the emails on the.
but I know we got them at home as well. I received one at home.
I didn't get anything at home.
Okay. So then we just read these out loud. All the below resolutions will be placed in the consent agenda for a vote during the IASB delegate assembly. If you are not removed from the consent agenda, so nobody had a chance to read them then.
Did we upload this on the, can we
Where's it
open
at
it
on
up
Board
here,
Docs?
please, somebody? Thank you, Deidre.
So these are the do
Say
not
it's on the
adopt.
back page.
We're like page 10, 11.
Gotcha.
It's the amendments, right?
Yes. So the first one is the do not adapt the dual language ones, right? The first one,
Consent agenda resolutions. There you go.
right there. It's
That's the
right,
beginning.
yeah, those are the beginning of it, page 11. All right, so consent agenda resolutions, for all the below resolutions, number 1 through number 6, the resolution committee recommends do not adopt for number 1, dual language, number 2, EBF authorized charter school funding, number 3, tax increment financing, TIF accountability, number 4, Faith's Law, centralized state agency for EHRs, number 5, healthcare coverage, number 6, polling place amendment to position statement 7.08. Number 1, for dual language, submitted, and again, these are for do not adopt, they're
I was gonna say,
recommended that they
Doesn't
do.
it say do? Am I looking at the wrong one?
They do adopt?
They do.
Oh, my goodness. Do adopt. They do adopt, okay, so the education, these are the ones that they do recommend that we do adopt. Dual language, number 1, this was submitted by District U46. The resolution and committee analysis, IASB Resolutions Committee determined that providing additional flexibility and allowing reasonable alternative qualifications such as the seal of biliteracy to meet the world language graduation requirement is a benefit for students. The resolution committee recommends that we do adopt. Are we in consensus with that?
Yes.
Consider we have a dual
For
language program.
considering that we do have a dual language program. For number 1, for the on page 11, that is up there for the educational programs.
Sounds good to me.
Yes. Are we, yeah?
Yeah,
Yes, all right. Okay, so yes. Okay. The next one is the EBF authorized charter school funding submitted by Woodlawn CCSD Fit number 50. The resolution committee, the committee agreed that the current method for funding state authorized charter schools is inequitable since EBF was enacted to ensure that public schools receive state funding based on the unique needs of their student population. State charter schools funding should reflect that same principle. The resolution committee recommends that we do adopt. How are we feeling with that?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next one is tax increment financing, TIF accountability, Skokie, School District 69. Resolution committee, the committee determined that the districts face numerous challenges as it relates to TIFs, including the overuse of TIFs, the length of TIFs, and the fiscal impact of TIFs on taxpayers within the school district community. Given these challenges, taxing bodies most impacted by TIFs, such as school districts, shall have a meaningful voice in the approval of a TIF, and reform is needed. The resolution committee recommends that we do adopt.
I'm gonna go no on this one. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel we have a pretty good, strong working relationship with all of our other taxing bodies when TIF comes up, at least here.
We
I
do
don't-
right now, but that's not, if the hands change.
But I don't know that the state telling local governments how they can administer TIFs is a good move either.
Is that what it's saying though? 'Cause-
Like, what we know is what we know right now.
Right.
With-
We can't control what, yeah.
We can't control what happens next.
I agree with Amanda. I say yes, but that's just me.
I agree with you and Amanda as well.
Steve?
seems fine anyway, sure, yes.
Okay. All right, Fates Law, centralized state agency for EHRs. The committee determined that requiring each school district to fulfill the requirement of the EHRs is burdensome on individual school districts. Creating a centralized entity responsible for EHRs would streamline the process and allow for them to accurate and consistent completion of EARs. The resolution committee recommends that we do adopt.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, okay. Health coverage, go to the next page. The committee determined that the high school cost of providing high-quality health insurance to district employees and the limited availability of insurance plans for the school districts in multiple counties throughout the state is a serious problem. Providing school districts with the option to join central management services would allow more health insurance choices for employees while decreasing costs for school districts. The resolution committee recommends that we do adopt.
Yes.
Yes?
It's
Yes.
giving an option, not forcing, right?
What was that you said?
Believe
It's giving
that's
an
how it's
option.
worded.
Yes,
Option to
yes.
opt in, not forcing.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect, as long as it's just an option.
Yes,
not
option.
forced. Okay.
Are we okay with that then? Consensus for yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome, okay, then the sixth one is polling place, amendment to position statement 7.08, resolution. The committee determined that if a school is not being used as a polling place, the safety of the students is not at risk. Therefore, it should be left up to local control as to whether the school district observes election day as a designated state holiday. The resolution committee recommends to adopt.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you. All right. Resolution number 7, this is when we go into the page 14. These are the do not adopt, okay? The cell phone usage, number 7, cell phone usage, number 8, Office Inspector General, number 9, Fates Law, EHR for current employees, and number 10, criminal background check. So these are do not adopt again. Cell phone usage. The committee agreed that cell phone usage during school is a growing concern and that research shows that it can negatively impact instructional time and student mental health. However, the committee did not support a statewide mandate and found that cell phone usage is best governed locally. Committee members determined that cell phone policies can pose safety, student discipline and fiscal challenges for school districts. Given these challenges, this is best left to each local district. Last, there is a current IASB press policy already available to districts. Press policy provides school boards with flexibility to create a cell phone usage policy specific to each district's needs. So they are recommending that we do not adopt as a statewide requirement.
I agree.
Okay. So, do not adopt. Okay. So then the next one is Office of Inspector General. While committee members agree that oversight and accountability for public schools is of the utmost importance, the committee identified many laws and processes currently in place that are already applied. Thus, legal remedies already exist to hold school districts accountable. Expanding or creating a new state agency is not necessary. The resolution committee recommends that we do not adopt.
I
We
agree.
do not. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Fates Law, EHRs for current employees. Committee members determined that conducting EARs for current employees could cause confusion and pose legal and collective bargaining challenges for school districts. Given these challenges, these employment decisions are best left to each local district and its attorneys. The resolution committee recommends that we do not adopt.
I agree.
I'm good with that. And they recommend that we do not adopt. Are you good with that?
I agree, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a faith law, it only applies to new employees, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Number 10, criminal background check. The committee agreed that it is critical that school board members maintain the highest ethical standards. However, committee members determined that background checks for school board candidates create a different election standard for school board members as compared to other elected officials. Also, it could cause financial and procedural challenges for potential school board members. These challenges could deter qualified candidates from running for school board. The resolution committee recommends that we do not adopt.
I agree.
I have a question, just because I don't remember. Once we got on the board, we did have to submit for a check, correct?
I don't believe so.
No, school code does not allow for that.
Never. You got something to hide?
No,
That is the
just-
reason, I mean, I think that that's one of the things that we had actively talked about in regards to like, why is, like, board members are not allowed to like have like keys to schools and things like that, because there's parameters that we have to make sure that we have in place, because we don't have criminal background checks.
Right.
But you would think, but,
I mean,
because we're around children, but you know.
We actually checked with legal on this. It is not a requirement by school code.
And that's
We
again,
can
because it's a
implement it.
political
Can we make
position,
it
right?
Yep. Because if somebody gets elected and then we learn that X, Y, or Z is on their criminal background, then that may result in us
But I
having
think
to
what-
disclose certain information.
And what this is asking is stating that they were seeking for this, for that to be a statewide
require
thing,
them
but
to
then
run.
what they're saying is that then this will be something that we are expecting. It wouldn't be fair because then the other, obviously, people that are running for positions, they don't have to go through the same background checks, so then how would that work, right? Now, I think that as a policy, within individual districts, it should be left to the district, so basically, that's what they're saying.
I feel like we should make that a policy.
I mean,
It's something that the
Can we
district,
put it
that,
on a
that
Do not
different
recommend?
meetings
Can happen.
agenda and talk
all
about
right,
it then?
so are we okay with do not recommend that they become, okay, okay,
I agree.
okay.
I am too. Can we go back to the Fates Law one though? I just want to make sure I understand that.
Go ahead, which one? So, Fates Law, let me.
For the current employees,
All right,
I just feel like we move kind of fast and I want to make sure I understand what it's actually saying.
let me see which one it is, on page 9, or number 9.
Number 9 on page 15.
Okay, so do you want to cover whatever it is that you have questions about?
I just need a second to reread it.
Of
I feel like
course.
it happened kind of fast. So.
Of course, go ahead.
Okay, I guess clarified question. Why does it only apply to new hires?
FAFE's, FAFE's law is new. It was implemented by Governor Pritzker. At the point that it was brought into law, there was a whole rollout system put into place on how the employment history reviews are done. So it was for employees hired from that point forward. So if we were to go back to current employees and go through that whole review, it could impact somebody's employment, when at the time that they were hired, those were not the requirements of the law.
Okay. But like there was some kind of vetting process before, or it's just an updated process?
No, it's a new process.
Okay.
Faith's Law is brand new. The year, now it's 2024, I believe it was 2022. And then it had an implementation rollout. So again, it's recommending that we not go back because it could impact employment for certain people, and then that could violate the collective bargaining agreements.
So things that were allowed before may not be allowed anymore.
For instance, people that were hired before, some said date 1981, they did not complete the I-9 form. So when I-9 was implemented, we weren't required to go back and have all employees do the I-9 to determine their eligibility to work or not. Now, when those people separate and retire and then say, oh, I want to come back and work part-time, we have to ask for all that information.
Okay.
So not going back and impacting the current employment of employees is basically why they're recommending not to adopt it.
Okay, that makes sense. I just, as the safe passage person, wanted to double check.
Are you okay with that then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and I think that those are the last ones, and then the last one is actually on page 22. On page 22 is the local school board delegate direction. IASB constitutional amendment presented by the IASB Board of Directors. The IASB Board of Directors presents the following constitutional amendment to the delegate assembly. Because the constitutional amendments are presented by the Board of Directors and as such are not recommendations made by the resolution committee, this constitutional amendment will not be included on the consent agenda. It must receive a two-thirds vote of all delegates present and voting for adoption. What is your board's direction as to whether the following constitutional amendments shall be adopted by the IASB Delegate Assembly? So basically, two-thirds should be present for something to pass. So that's what it's saying, right? Page 22. Yes, 22.
Which is kind of 20.
I am trying to keep up, but it's
You're
very
doing great,
That one.
Deidre.
That's the one right there.
Wait a minute, that looks different there, right? Does it look different? It looks like this over
Scroll
here.
down a little, scroll up a
Oh,
little
at the
bit.
bottom, there you go,
Yeah.
yes.
The number in the bottom is 22. It's the 23rd page on there. It's somebody's fault who I would never point fingers at. Who got it? Is that why we just voted on that?
Yes, so, I know we're voting on whether or not we agree to yes
I know,
for
but we
yes.
voted to make you the delegate, which is what this says.
I guess, that's what I'm trying to look for the voting and adaptation. I'm not quite sure, this, I'm like,
It's fine with me.
yes, I think that that's what it is, yes.
Sure.
Yes, that's what it is that we're doing. But we got ahead of the game, I guess, yes.
Go for it.
So yes,
You can vote on that.
Is that me?
that was probably me.
Well, we're voting whether we want them to make it a rule that they have to do it.
Okay.
That's fine,
Okay,
whatever.
Bougie, yes.
so we are trying to get ahead of the game in a lot of these things as we work with our attorneys, so hopefully so we voted yes, so we already did it. Okay. Whew, that was a long agenda. Okay, the next item is superintendent update, and
Y'all know what that means, right? So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the only meeting in November. I'm going to start off with this Friday, November 15th, is School Board Member Day. So I wanted to thank our school board members for everything they do. As you know, they are volunteers. They're elected, and they are volunteers, their time and donate their time to the school district to help us align and run the school district, keep policies in place, budget in place, and all those wonderful things, as you heard today. It was a perfect example of the work that they do with us at the district. So thank you for that. I know Rita was looking to take a pic. So she grabbed a couple of pics while we were doing the work, and those will be the ones that she was going to use.
make sure I'm
Some-
not My
Yep.
mouth open.
Some great news. I just wanted to let you know that we want to congratulate Mr. Mark Sykes for being selected as the IADA Division II Assistant Athletic Director of the Year nominee. We will find out later the year. Yep. If Mr. Sykes is selected as a recipient of this award, Mark, good luck. And then, of course, we want to congratulate the assistants of the DHS boys wrestling team, Andy Hyatt, Max Hyatt, Ulysses Jacobo, Austin Macias, Travis Martin, J.D. Oliva, Andrew Owens, Sam Walt, for being selected as the Illinois Assistant Coaching Staff of the Year, by the National Wrestling Coaching Association. Congratulations, DHS has got a lot of folks up there getting all kinds of awards. So thank you so much for that. Update, girls flag football had a strong response and positive feedback. They won all 4 of their games. Yay, young ladies, wonderful work. And as promised, we're gonna have a boys volleyball team in the spring. We will be testing this out, so be on the lookout for more information in the near future. I know that the young men over at DHS, especially for the ones on a mini board and a few other clubs, were asking me the other day about when that's happening. So look out for more information. Make sure you guys sign up for tryouts or whatever it is that they're gonna do. And I can't wait to see the boys out there playing. So we all know that the fall, winter sports have started. Can't wait to get out there and watch some basketball and, let's say, boys bowling, girls basketball, boys basketball, competitive cheer, competitive dance, gymnastics, girls bowling, and boys swimming. Lots of stuff happening. So we can't wait to see what's happening out there. And of course, over at our middle school, they're gonna be doing a number of activities. Let's go out and cheer them on, as well as our junior barbs become big barbs, and definitely they're representing the district. So good luck to everybody as they start fall sports. Wanted to turn over to our summited designations that have come out from ISB. I know they've already been out there. And I had conversations as a whole with our school leaders this morning. Generally speaking, we have 6 schools that are on the commendable. Commendable is where we'd like to live, if at all possible. We have 1 school that's on the verge of exemplary, so we're gonna, work on that school with our school leaders and the team to get them there. If that's what happens, that'd be great. They can visit exemplary anytime you want. And then we have 3 schools that are at targeted. We will work with those 3 schools on supporting them so that they can come back up to commendable. There's just a couple of tweaks. I think it's a numbers game when it comes to that. We do have 2 schools on comprehensive. We had a meeting today with some folks from ISB on how we will be supporting them in the near future. They will have to do some things along with their strategic plan and upload the strategic plan, and then we'll be supporting them in different ways. They will also be supporting them with some additional folks outside of the district for some professional development at the teacher level, coaching them, and a few other things. We know that we can move our schools out of that. Again, it's just looking at where we're falling, making sure that we're targeting the right kids, making sure that we're targeting the right areas, and really looking at our data deeply. And there's a number of folks at the Ed Center that will be reaching out and doing root cause analysis with our school improvement teams and working with them on developing the correct strategies at the school level. So lots of work to do, but we know that we can get it done, and we'll get going in the right direction. I do want to say that Jefferson and Littlejohn have stayed commendable for 3 years in a row. Cortland and all 3 of our secondary schools have moved up from where they were to commendable. So that's great to have all 3 of our secondary schools up that way. And then our other schools will be right behind you, so just wait for them to come up this year. This process usually stays in for 3 years. So they'll have to do this work for 3 years until they can maintain. And every year, the goal line gets pushed back a little bit more. So this year, that line was 40%. That next year, it could be 46, 47, so they keep moving it back. And the thing is that although we may be staying where we are, we can't. we have to keep pushing forward to continue gaining momentum. And that's could be where we're struggling a little bit. So we'll make sure that all of our schools get the support they need to come off of that. Remember, this is based on assessment that's done, the state assessment that's completed 3 times a year. It's not what happens every day. We progress monitor for the work and the learning that happens and the growth that happens every day. These are just 3 times a year. And I'm not saying just, but this is what the state recognizes us as. So we need to make sure that we pay attention to it, but also know that what's happening every day is really where the growth happens. Okay? So I want to thank all of our school leaders and all of our teachers, everyone in the buildings for supporting our children, for supporting each other, for working together to make movements such as these. And I want you to know that from the Ed Center out to all of our schools, I'm looking at the camera, okay, that we are here to support you, to provide you resources, whatever you need. Get into your school improvement plan teams, get in there, talk about the needs that you have for your building, for your students, and then we will discuss how we can support you as you're moving forward. That's the commitment we have from the Ed Center. And of course, you know that that's the commitment from the board because they're the ones that vote for all of those things to happen for our kids. So I look forward to hearing how we will be moving forward. Thank you. And I think with that, that's it for me. I thank all these guys because they have to make sure that all our Ed Center staff to make sure that there's the resources and supports to be had. So they do great work and it's always behind the scenes and I don't say thank you enough. So thank you to all of them as well. And okay, now I'm gonna turn it over back to the president so she can finish it up for us.
All right, any last minute comments from anybody before we? No?
Move we adjourn.
Okay, it is now 7:47, and with that, it is recommended that the Board of Education will adjourn. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Yes.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Drive safe.
Thank you.